On today's Battlefield Recon, ATV RPG skyscraper fluke shot. Will the Battlefield franchise become an annual proposition? And hands-on with Second Assault on Xbox One. All this and more on today's Battlefield Recon. Hello, I'm Dan Dawkins, host of Battlefield Recon, and I'm joined by Andy Hartup.
Hello.
Straight in with our clips of the week and a guest presenter.
Hey fool, I'm Mr. T, and not that damn jibber jabber fool Dan Dawkins. Anyway, here's the crazy stunt RPG jump thing that I don't understand. Let's just watch that thing.
Thank you very much, Mr. T. Anyway, in this clip, it's a man jumping an ATV off a skyscraper and shooting down a helicopter at the same time. It is mega impressive.
That one crazy jump, fool!
You know, sometimes you go to the restaurant, you want pasta, but you want a beef burger, but you can't have both. Sometimes I play Battlefield and think, I want a bit of Halo in my Battlefield. Well, thankfully, this guy's found an ingenious way to recreate the Halo ring world in Battlefield using whirly things. This is amazing.
That is pretty incredible. I think I can see Master Chief from here.
What's better than a 64-man base jump? That's right, a 64-man base jump. But this time with even better graphics in the Siege of Shanghai in Battlefield 4. It's easy for me to say.
Yeah, well, these guys has a cinema. They did it in Battlefield 3. So naturally, I think the first thing they did once they saw the massive skyscraper in the Siege of Shanghai map is thought, yeah, we can jump 64 dudes off that.
This is the Battlefield equivalent of one of those people who goes around on a Vespa outside the Vatican slipping people's wallets out, except for this time he's slipping C4 charges into people's pockets.
Yeah, a deadly sort of reversal of roles, yeah.
Just take my money.
Yeah. See, he drives off, he's none the wiser. Boom.
Our last clip today is by a man called Joe Snipe. That's what he says. He meets people, he goes, "Hey, I'm Joe Snipe. Nice to snipe you."
If that is his real name, then you know, it's funny how he's chosen to be a sniper in Battlefield 4.
Isn't it? It's nominative determinism in action.
That can't be a coincidence, can it?
Hey, Joe Snipe. That's some good sniping. That is some good sniping, Andy, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's excellent sniping, yeah.
As always with our clips, if you like them, click for the link to see them all in full glorious motion. There's been a lot of talk this week about the potential annualization of the Battlefield franchise. So we do, in fact, much like Call of Duty, get a new Battlefield every year. Now, obviously that seems sort of attractive in some respects, but in others might kind of be a bad idea. Now, Andy's got some thoughts on this, and we've got some quotes, because recently an analyst asked this very question to an EA spokesperson. And what was the outcome?
The outcome was that he said it would be very, very difficult to do, and you'd really need two studios working on it. I personally think it would be a very poor idea to annualise Battlefield. I wouldn't want one every year. What we've seen with Call of Duty is that the differences between each game year on year are very, very slight. I mean, they change the story, but things like the multiplayer and the basic mechanics of the game remain very, very similar year on year. And that's sort of seen a decline in sales and interest in the Call of Duty series. People are very, very cynical about it now. So, you wouldn't want that to happen with Battlefield. I mean, I like to see a new game every few years, and it needs to bring something genuinely new to the table. Like, I know that Battlefield 4, a lot of people have said it's not a huge step up from 3. It really is quite a significant step up from 3. It's brought in things like Levolution. They have changed the single player very significantly. The maps they've changed, and it has straddled a new generation. So console gamers are actually getting a much better and bigger experience. And if you annualize it, you're not going to get that same sort of thing.
Now, what was EA's explanation when they were asked this question? How did they approach it?
They said, one of the things that they brought up was the fact that they wouldn't really want to do it. I mean, DICE can't physically do it because they haven't got the resource to do it.
Yeah, they're only finitely big.
Exactly, yeah. And then don't forget they're making Mirror's Edge 2, they're making Star Wars Battlefront. They've got a lot on their plate. The other thing that they pointed out, which I thought was pretty interesting, and one way that Battlefield does differentiate itself is it does support itself for 2 years at least. So, you get your DLC plan, you've got your balancing patches, things like that. That is supported for the whole 2 years. So, and most people turn up to play Battlefield for multiplayer, so there's no hunger for a new single player campaign every year, which there is with COD. So yeah, I mean, from that perspective, it just makes sense to keep Battlefield every other year. I think the question was being asked because they're seen as like a hole in EA's shooter schedule next Christmas, because we know that Medal of Honor isn't coming back. So what are they going to fill the hole with?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting. I think the huge thing could be, the DICE producing the Star Wars Battlefront games, but it's worth noting they're being produced out of the new DICE LA studio. So again, it's not like essentially a drain on the core DICE team, but still, I mean, I've seen people argue on forums saying that what would stop them, let's say, doing Bad Company one year and core Battlefield the year after. Exactly like we said, the problem really is resource, and also what are you trying to achieve by doing that, bar creating a great money spinner. Really, I think whilst you could argue that worked for Call of Duty for a bit, now you're getting a sense of sort of franchise fatigue. You'd need to really differentiate those two versions, and then you run the risk of people liking one year and not liking the other year. So it is quite difficult. I agree with you. I think I'm pro having it split out every 2 years. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on this matter. Do tweet us on @BattleRecon to let us know. Andy's been off playing a lot of new Battlefield 4 this week. Yeah, he's been hands-on with China Rising, which unfortunately we can't talk about today because the embargo is
next week.
Next week
we will be on the cusp of the embargo.
It's like December the 3rd or something.
So anything you want on China Rising, you will hear it here first.
Yeah, and any questions, tweet @BattleRecon to get there in advance. Now, what Andy can talk about is he's been playing Second Assault on Xbox One.
Yep.
Can you explain what it is to the uninitiated and what your impressions were?
Well, Second Assault is basically, it's 4 new maps. Well, they're not new. They're actually maps that appeared in Battlefield 3. They've been spruced up for Battlefield 4. They've had Levolution moments added to them, and yeah, I mean they're classic maps, and they work on all Battlefield 4's modes, and they've got Levolution.
Did you try all the maps?
I did. So the list of maps that I played is Operation Metro. They're all called 2014. So there's Operation Metro 2014. There is Gulf of Oman. There is Operation Firestorm, and there is Caspian Border. So those are the 4 maps that you get. They're supposed to be fan favourites. I am not a fan of Operation Metro. I know quite a few people are, but I also know an equal number of people who find Operation Metro incredibly annoying because it's too linear. But yeah, I played through them all. I think the most impressive was actually the Gulf of Oman one, because the Levolution moment in that is sort of similar to Paracel Storm, where you get a massive sandstorm sweeping in.
Oh, nice.
Your visibility is reduced. So at the start of the level, there's people flying around in helicopters and things like that and sniping people from the roofs of building, and then this dust storm blows in and your visibility really gets reduced, so it's more about more close quarters combat. It really does change the dynamic. It was really impressive.
So what other Levolution moments can we expect from the updated maps?
Okay, so in the Caspian Border map you can bring down a big communications tower, which is okay. It's a big stack that collapses. It looks nice, and it does change the level to an extent because it creates new routes up this little hill, which is good if you've got loads of snipers up on top of this hill. In Operation Metro you can flood the tunnels. I didn't actually see that. I was only told about that because it wasn't triggered on any of the modes we were
destroy
playing.
the ceilings. I guess if it's just to create a hole, that's not very exciting.
No, not hugely. I mean, the flooding in flood zone is obviously the standard, which it doesn't quite reach, I don't think. And in Operation Firestorm, you can set fire to things, which it did happen actually, and there was a few flames sort of kicking around when I was playing it. Again, it wasn't particularly impressive. I mean, you get hurt by the flames, and you do have to approach certain situations differently. But I didn't feel like it had changed the map significantly.
Okay, so when can I play Second Assault and how?
Well, if you have picked up an Xbox One, you can play it right now, providing you are a member of Battlefield 4 Premium. If you are not a member of Battlefield 4 Premium, you're going to have to wait until next Tuesday, December the 3rd, to play it on your Xbox One. Now, if you are playing on PS4 or PC, honestly do not know when it's going to be available. It's a timed exclusive on Xbox One. I don't think you'd have to wait long. I suspect it's going to be before Christmas.
Yeah, keep checking @BattleRecon on Twitter or the @Battlefield account to get formal updates. Okay, thanks for listening today. That's been Battlefield Recon. If you like this video, please click the like button and do subscribe for more great PS4 and Xbox One videos on the channel in the weeks ahead. Okay, until the next time, bye bye.